Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The mother of the sons of Zebedee approached Jesus with her sons and did him homage, wishing to ask him for something. He said to her, "What do you wish?" She answered him, "Command that these 2 sons of mine sit, one at your right and the other at your left in your kingdom." Jesus said in reply, "You do not know what you are asking. Can you drink the chalice that I am going to drink?" They said to him, "We can." He replied, "My chalice you will indeed drink, but to sit at my right and at my left, this is not mine to give, but is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father." When the 10 heard this, they became indignant at the 2 brothers. But Jesus summoned them and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and the great ones make their authority over them felt. But it shall not be so among you. Rather, whoever wishes to be great among you shall be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just so, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So my brothers and sisters, praise be Jesus Christ. So today, as we celebrate this feast of St. James an Apostle, so I'll start by reflecting briefly on the Gospel of today, according to Matthew, as we just heard. So according to St. Matthew, the passage that we just read, so he makes the 3rd prediction. So this comes after the 3rd prediction of his suffering, his death, and his resurrection. Then immediately after that, we are told of the mother of James and John, who approached Jesus. And so why did she approach our Lord? And what was the reason actually that she did that? And of course, Matthew wants us to understand the heart and the spirit of a mother. So just the feeling that mothers have for their loved ones. And always when we do something good, I believe our loved ones feel it, and they are actually close to us and support us in that way. And so Matthew wants to bring this out. And this reminds me of the 4th feast. The 4th feast, when we were just here. On Thursdays, during the feasts, we have the AFC show. And I normally like to sit just close there with Father Kevin just to see what is going on. And on that 4th feast, so as the show was going on, so when the alumni were on the stage, so I saw one young lady who just rose from behind there, and she just moved ahead in haste, and she was so excited. Then I just made a turn a little bit to see what was going on. Then she shouted, "That's my sister." She pointed, so the one who was on the stage, "That's my sister." So anyway, the expression just shows exactly how it feels and how we feel mostly when our loved ones do something, and they do something good. And so the mother to James and John, of course, just wanted to wish their son well. And so she goes to our Lord. And this is what she tells our Lord, declare. Yeah, so you mark the words, declare that these two sons of mine will sit, one on your right hand and at your left in your kingdom. So this is her wish. She actually wants to present. She presented to our Lord. But Matthew has another detail again that we need to learn from his gospel. So the other detail that he wants us to learn is about, this ambition that is expressed here was of the mother. And then the two, that is John and James, who are brothers, had their own ambitions as well, because we know very well that these were not simple people. So the two of them were not just mere fishermen, like maybe the others, because they had boats, first of all, and they were working with their dad, Zebedee, and also they had servants under them. So this means that they were organized people. So they had a life to live and to lead. And in this case, because they were such organized, so they had an ambition actually to make sure that their business goes on. And so the same ambition, the same passion that they had, so they bring it also in the mission. So Matthew wants us to learn also of the enthusiasm that these two had. And so he expresses it here. So they were not that simple people. And then he expresses that clearly in the gospel. Of course, at first expressed through the mother. And then in the second part, we have their own passion as well, expressed by Matthew. And we learn also that St. James, as an apostle, and also his brother John, so they were so close to our Lord because they witnessed the cure. At first, they witnessed the cure of the mother-in-law to Peter. So he was with them. So our Lord was with them during that particular time. Then also the healing of the daughter of Jairus. So he was with them. They were with him. And also in the garden, so during the passion of our Lord, so he was with them. And although there's a detail about James, because he slept during that particular moment. So he couldn't keep vigil with our Lord. He slept. But that sleeping, teaches us something. He was always close to the Lord. And then at that particular moment that our Lord was really in need of him, so he slept. But even sleeping at that particular time teaches us that he was present. So he was there during that particular moment that our Lord really wanted him. And so maybe what we can learn from that is that in our strive in life, in our missionary journey as we carry on, and in our life in general, so we realize that there are moments in life that we find ourselves maybe in sleep. Not the normal sleep that we understand, but sometimes our life slow down to an extent. And in that particular confusion, so during that particular moment is when our Lord communicates something to us. And so the apostles, James was able to, he slept, but during that particular moment, so he was actually present. He was there with the Lord. And it's during that particular time that he actually had to realize, especially what he was expected of. And Jesus goes on after the expression of the mother. So he wants to teach about the greatness, and the greatness that is never attained So greatness, according to the eyes maybe of the apostles, and as they expressed it to him, maybe was entailed in who is supposed to be the first, who is supposed to be a leader in this particular group, and all that. But Jesus brings out another lesson altogether, because after this expression, so there was a commotion among the apostles. Okay, living together in a community, at times we expect this, that maybe something may happen, and perhaps it raises some confusion, and maybe one group may want to turn against the other. So the remaining apostles were not happy of maybe the wish by the two, and therefore Jesus takes that opportunity and teaches. So he gives a lesson about the greatness, and so he wants to teach that greatness is actually about those who dedicate themselves, those who dedicate themselves mostly to the well-being of their brothers and sisters. So this is where greatness is found. So it's not about maybe I being the first, but it's about my dedication and how I am supposed to serve. And this is expressed clearly in our Lord himself. So in Philippians chapter 2, verse 6 to 8, hints to us the disposition of our Lord, especially when it comes to considering greatness. And this describes the state of our Lord, that his state was divine, yet he did not cling to his equality with God, but he emptied himself to assume the condition of a slave. And being as so many are, he was humbler yet, even to accepting death on a cross. So this is the disposition that we learn from our Lord about greatness, about who is supposed to be great and who is supposed to be the first. And so this also leads us to our first reading of today, in which St. Paul wants to express to us. So despite our suffering, our struggles, and what have you, so we hold. So St. Paul tells us in the second reading that we hold a treasure in weak vessels. We hold a treasure in weak vessels. And in this case, considering our weakness, considering our disposition, so we know very well that he is there, and our presence and being close to him, our encounter with him in the Eucharist and in our activities, in our missionary activity, so he lifts us up, and he is always ready to support us despite our being fragile and what we bring also. So let us continue looking on him, and let us welcome him, so that always we may find the true greatness in him and be ready to welcome him in all our activities that we are involved in, as we prepare ourselves for the great work ahead of us in these activities that are ahead of us. Let us ask that he strengthens us, so that in our little martyrdoms, in our suffering here and there, so we may be able to offer it for his great glory. And as our Blessed Mother, of course, will always support us and will multiply that, our fragility, to something great for the good of the families that we will serve, for our good and for the good of our loved ones as well.